I have a quiz for you. The question you're seeing right now is from a governmental survey of a country, but unfortunately, there's something wrong with it. What's the problem and how can we correct this? I'll give you 5 seconds to think. So the answer is the term gender is misused, and it should have been sex. So what is your sex, male or female? Alternatively, if you wanted to ask about someone's gender, the choices should have been man, women, boy, girl, or gender diverse person. This is a common mistake. The terms sex and gender tend to be used interchangeably, even in scientific papers, published ones, but they mean different things. So the first takeaway from this video is how to distinguish between sex and gender, in case you didn't know. Sex is defined as a set of biological attributes, while gender is defined as socially constructed roles, behaviors, identities, and expressions. While sex is classified into females and males, gender is classified into women, men, girls, boys, and gender diverse people. I'll repeat what I said because the distinction is very important. Sex is biological, while gender is socially constructed and culturally defined. At this point, you know how to distinguish between sex and gender. But why are they important? The fact is that sex and gender can play important roles in disease acquisition. This ranges from anything like cancer, heart diseases, to infections. An infectious disease include COVID-19. And needless to say, all of us have been affected by COVID-19. And basically, your risk of getting the disease and testing positive may be influenced by your sex and gender. This leads to my research question, which is, how do sex and gender affect test positivity in COVID-19 in UK Biobank? UK Biobank is the database I used. There are two objectives for the study. One, to examine the risk factors for COVID-19 test positivity for the overall population and for each of males and females. And two, to create predictive models tailored to each sex and not just for the overall population. How did we do this? We used two primary methods, logistic regression and machine learning. For logistic regression, we performed univariate and multivariate analyses. For machine learning, we use a method called gradient boosting machine, a technique of which the prediction model is an ensemble of weak prediction models. What did we find? We found that the predictors of COVID-19 for males and females were different. For males, they were primarily physiological factors, while for females, they were primarily psychosocial factors. We also found that psychosocial factors played an important role in contracting COVID-19. Some of them were education level, social deprivation scores, type of work, income, and ethnicity. In other words, the factors that influence one's risk of getting COVID-19 were not only biological but also psychosocial. What does these imply? These imply that when governments and even individuals consider prevention strategies for COVID-19, they may and should take sex and gender into consideration. And it also means that when predicting someone's risk of getting COVID-19, different factors may need to be looked at based on their sex and gender, meaning that we can't just put everyone in the same bag and test. This is the end of the video, and thank you very much for watching.